So by now, you've probably already figured out how you would automate the entirety of Google's backend using N8N, but how would you trigger your workflow? Well, there are many ways to trigger a workflow in N8N, including app APIs. For example, you could trigger it with a text message from Telegram. So each time a channel post or a message is sent, it could start the workflow. The most basic workflow is the execute workflow, which basically just executes when you click the execute workflow button. The next type of trigger is an on schedule trigger, which, as you can see, has a specific time stamp for when you would trigger your workflow. For example, every 50 seconds or every 2 hours, etc. Then there's the on webhook call, which listens for a webhook call through this link. And if another server calls a webhook to this link, then it would execute the workflow with the information given through the webhook. Then we have an on-form submission, basically title, description, and element, the field name, the element type, and the placeholder, which is the text which goes away after you click on the field, and is the field required or not. Pretty self-explanatory. You would get the URL from here. You could just fill out the form. Then there's the when executed by another workflow. This is a more advanced trigger, as you would have to call a trigger in another workflow to call this trigger. On chat message, this is used when you use AI. So as you can see here, we have a chat here, and anything I type will be sent as a message, chat input message, which you could then link up to an AI. Then you have uh, the app triggers, which I already demonstrated. For example, Sheets, Microsoft Sheets. When a row is added, a workflow could be triggered, or when a row is updated, etc., etc. So there are quite a few um, apps here. But if the app isn't here, you could use a webhook to run the workflow. It always works well. And that's the basics of how to trigger a workflow in N8N. Thank you for watching.